Good morning, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the 2021 workshop on the original substance of divine principle. I'm Tim Elder, and I'll be giving the lectures over the coming days. This will be an in-depth look at True Father's teaching. And actually, I think now that I think of it, we only have given ourselves 6 days this year, because we don't do it on Sunday, and we're ending Friday. So I think maybe we may have to add on I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I have a presentation here, a PowerPoint presentation here with 550 slides, and so we will see how far this goes. But this will begin with the study of the family pledge, because Father instructed that the OSTP lectures begin with that. And then after that, we will study a little bit about why we go into this kind of depth into Father's teachings. And then after that, we will go into chapter 1, the principle of creation, which will take up probably about half of our time. And we'll be in chapter 1. The entire presentation is more than a dozen chapters, but chapter 1 is going to take up about half of that time. Because chapter 1 tells us about God and about the image of God and about his original plan of creation. And if the fall had not occurred, then there would be no need for anything else. Just that, and that would be enough, and that would encompass the entirety of knowledge that human beings would need to have about God and his creation. But of course, a lot of things happened, and so we need to catch up on that. And so we'll be talking then and after that about the human fall and about eschatology and what the last days are going to be like, about the mission of Jesus, the mission of Messiah, and so on and so forth. And we'll be talking a lot about, in the second part, we'll be talking a lot about the Old Testament history. And then that's always a lot of fun. There are a lot of interesting stories in the Old Testament, and they all relate to God's course in bringing about his original plan, his original ideal of creation. And then we'll be talking about the last 400 years, the preparation for the Messiah. And of course, yes, we'll go into the parallels of history as well, preparation for the Messiah, and then the second coming, and so forth and so on. So this is going to be a course that we will go through from today. And so we will spend today from 8 o'clock this morning until 4 o'clock this afternoon. And then we'll start up again at 8 o'clock on Monday morning. All right, and so first of all, I wanted to speak a little bit about the title. I was exposed to OSTP, I can't remember exactly when. It's been more than perhaps 15-ish maybe, or something like that. And the title confused me from the beginning. It's my responsibility, I think, that I didn't come across this very simple explanation prior to this. Probably if I'd done my research more diligently, I could have. But here's my understanding of this. During the 19th century, the East Asia was opening up to the West. China, Japan, Korea were opening up to the West. And with that, with the missionaries coming and with the all sorts of things coming from the West, for the first time, East Asia was being exposed to philosophies and ideologies of the West. And there was a problem how to translate many of the terms into East Asian languages, especially into Chinese. And pretty much, Japan and Korea would take their cue from the Chinese, but or the Japanese would translate something into Chinese characters, and that would be adopted by Korea and China or something like that. But anyway, there was a process of trying to absorb these Western philosophies into Eastern language. And they came across this, and they did this from, by the way, English and from German, because German was one of the main languages of philosophy at that time. So they came across this term ontology, or its equivalent in German. And so what to do about that? ontology. And it seems that they finally came up with two ways of translating ontology into Japanese, Korean, and Chinese. And one was basically just the study of existence, 존재론, 손자론, 존재론, which literally means the study of existence. But the other was 본체론. That was a way in which ontology, the term ontology, was translated into Japanese and Korean. And here, I found this in a Korean dictionary, 본체론. Wow, it's in a dictionary. And I've superimposed my translation of their definition over it. And you see, it says, a field of learning that studies existence and all the fundamental and universal rules of existence. There's a definition of 본체 without the just in a more general sense. And 본체 means one of the definitions that, for example, if you have a machine, then it's the main body of that machine. For example, when we have a desktop computer, or we have what we call the tower, right? We have the main body of the computer is the tower. Anyway, you have the main body. Okay, that would be the 본체 of the computer. And so that is what 본체론 means. This is what I'm talking about here. And it says the 사물의 정체. So the real identity of things is the first definition, and this is the foundation of things. But also here for machines and so forth, the central portion, or what is the fundamental thing. But 본체론 itself means the field of learning that studies existence and all the fundamental rules of existence. So it's pretty much a synonym with a 존재론, very similar to 존재론, maybe even the same as 존재론. But both of those are translations of the English word ontology and the German equivalent of that into Chinese and Korean and Japanese. So that, for me, solves the mystery. This is basically principal ontology, very simply. So should we change the title? No. Because we're going to talk about God being the 본체 of love. He's the 본체 of 심정. He's the 본체 of a law, 본체 of this and 본체 of that. So how are you going to translate that if you simply make this principal ontology? That would be a difficult thing. So he's the main body, or you could say original substance of love, of 심정, of law, and so forth. And so I think we should keep this original substance translation, but understand that we are talking about principal ontology. So does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. All right, next, I want to explain about Korean language.